Live from the Myrtle Beach Speedway here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series, live on Apex Racing TV. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Joining me in the commentary booths tonight and also producing the show is Marco Barbanera. Marco, you've been with us for the first 2 weeks of this championship. We are here in week number 3. What do you think of the action so far, and what are you looking at tonight, considering this is the third stop on the tour?
First of all, hello everyone. Thank you, Joshua, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate this, to broadcast this championship for you, and now, of course, to jump in the commentary box. The first 2 rounds were so exciting. New Hampshire, of course, a bigger track. We had some, extracurricular activities. It was the first round of the championship. It was, of course, double points. Then we headed for the second round of the season. Of course, in New Smyrna we saw some different racing. Of course, a track more suited, I think, to these cars. And I think that Myrtle Beach tonight will play a bit more like New Smyrna did last week. It's another short track, very close quarters, short lap, and these cars are absolutely at home in a place like this.
Now let's take a look at the points standings. Matthew Lambert comes into tonight as your points leader. Chris Downing sits in second. He's only 1 point behind Matthew Lambert for that championship points spot. and Tyler Catalano is sitting in third, 2 points back from the lead. So the top three within 3 points of each other of the championship so far. But something interesting is that the top three currently in the points all do not have a single win yet on the season. Our winner of the first time out in New Hampshire currently sits in the 4th spot, and that's Bobby Sant Jr. Got taken out very early last week in New Smyrna. And then last week's New Smyrna winner, Kyle Eli, was making his first points start on this tour, so he sits back in 23rd because he did not get the points in New Hampshire, and that was, of course, like Marco said, a double points weekend. That definitely put him behind, but with a win, he is looking for more and trying to get more points. He is currently fastest in the session. In second is Chris Downing, third Kenny Zeems, fourth William Kruska, and in fifth Cullen Johnston. We'll be back to seeing the Zeems tonight. Kenny and Ken missed out last week. They're back tonight here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And Marco, this track shaped a lot like Richmond. It's almost a D-shaped oval. Do you think that's going to throw a curveball to these guys? Because the modifieds are usually used to going in a straight line and then hard braking. Here, you kind of have to arch the corner a little bit better.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Richmond, Iowa, I have to say, that kind of racetrack, those tracks that you don't know if they are the world smallest super speedway or the world, biggest short track. They are so much fun to drive, but they are so difficult for the thing you just said. Basically, you are never going straight, and even if you aren't really doing that. You need to keep your attention, your focus high 100%, and as you said, these cars don't really like it. You will see that basically, of course, if you want to get a good exit, you have to really come close to that wall, but then go down to the white line when you are where you are going through the corners. So, I mean, I like the fact that so far we have seen 3 racetracks. All 3 have been quite different compared to each other. Seems like, of course, we are getting ready also for a night meeting here, which is, of course, always very nice under the lights here. So all the ingredients are there, and we are also 50 seconds away from the end of practice.
And you mentioned the 3 different tracks we've had in the first 3 races of this championship. Next week we'll be at Southern National Raceway. Then we'll be heading to Oxford, then Martinsville for another double points race. We'll head to South Boston, Lanier, 5 Flags, and then we'll finish off the tour at the USA International Speedway. So very different short tracks on this tour, and these tour modifieds do a great job of racing wherever they are. You're currently on board the set 7 of Patrick Hosier in the 8th spot, currently on the speed charts. We're seeing the same people sort of fast. We're also seeing a couple guys up there in the top 10. Brian Osborne making his first debut tonight. I believe he did compete in New Hampshire, did not compete last week out in New Smyrna. So as the clock expires here in practice, we're getting ready to begin qualifying for tonight's race. How this goes here at the East Coast Thunder Esports Tour Modified Series, we don't just go right into the feature. They have qualifying where 6 drivers will automatically make their way into the feature and not have to race through our heats. We will have 2 heats of 8 laps apiece, the top 4 making it into the feature race. And then the rest of the positions up until 22 will be filled by provisional spots. And we have 21 drivers registered. So that means nobody is going home. Everybody will be making it into the big show here tonight. It is just a matter of how and when they qualify and where they qualify, as a matter of fact. You're taking a look at Matthew Lambert, current points leader, as he gets the green flag for his first run here in qualifying.
And as you have seen there is basically, in 3 and 4, there is no apron to speak of. So that is going to be certainly a hotly contested spot all race long. As you can see, basically, in 1 and 2, you have sort of runoff there, but runoff/apron. But 3 and 4, there is absolutely no space. That could be some major traffic jams in there.
And in 1 and 2, you can see on the apron, there's almost little bumps there to designate where the track is and where pit exit is. If you get those left side tires on there, that is going to especially upset the modified and get it up out of the groove and spin it around. So it'll be interesting to see where the cautions come out. We know there will be cautions. We know there will be carnage. Just a matter of where and when. As Kenny Zeems goes to the top of the charts, he is currently fastest in this session, 17.631, the fastest time. Second place currently held by Neil Rutt III, making his first start tonight and with a 17.795. As more laps come in, you're looking at Chris Downing. He'll go up to P number 2 with a time of 17.65. Cross the line again. Kruska going to go to P number 4 with a 17.709. 17.647 the time for Chris Downing. As we have about a minute left in qualifying, everybody finishing up their 2 laps out here on the race course. Zeems with the pole, Downing second, Rutt the third in third. William Kruska in fourth, Johnston fifth. Last week's winner, Kyle Eli, currently sitting in the 6th spot.
Well, he was a fantastic lap, and he gets beaten by Kenny Zeems, so they are trading fast laps there at the top. And now it's Zeems first and Eli second by 13 1,000 of a second. Absolutely minuscule gaps there at the front, and also Chris Downing there, very, very close. Let's see if drivers have some time left to do some other attempts. Trevor Catalano coming home. Will he improve on his time? The answer is yes, but he's still sitting there in 9th place. Brian Osborne, no time left for him, and so that will be that for qualifying, and we are already griding up for the first heat race, but first, a rundown of qualifying.
And remember, those top 6 will make their way into the feature automatically. Kenny Zeems, your pole sitter for the feature race. Kyle Eli in second, Chris Downing third, Ken Zeems fourth, Neil Rutt the third in fifth, and William Kruska will take that 6th and final automatic transfer spot into the feature. Everybody else on from 7th down to 21st will have to make their way into the heats and race their way into tonight's feature race. Let's take a look at that starting grid for heat number 1 tonight here in Myrtle Beach. Cullen Johnston will start on the pole. Trevor Catalano to his outside. Casey Hatch in 3rd. Patrick Hosier in 4th. Russell Peets in 5th. Dom Adam Zeeks in 6th. Stephen Barber in 7th. And Corey Stockart will start in the 8th spot. Stockart making his first appearance here in the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series tonight. The driver out of New Jersey will be starting at the tail end of this Heat 1 field. Only 8 cars will be starting in this heat race. The top 4 will get an automatic berth into the feature race, with the rest of them being seated on provisionals. Like I said earlier, the 22 drivers can make it into the feature. We have 21 registered, so that means nobody will be going home. Just a matter of if you want to get into the feature and earlier and start closer up to the pace car.
Of course, in heat racing we won't have cautions, but those will be of course in place during the main event. So important not to lose time, as we already hear a couple of cars banging into each other. Drivers are absolutely eager to go racing, Joshua. If I'm not mistaken, we will have 2 pace laps, and then it will be time to go racing. As you can see there on the outside, Catalano is trying his best to warm his tires. See, look at his brakes there. These brake discs there, completely red.
Those brakes are going to be heating up, and so are those tires. They're not going to get that hot here in this heat. Only 8 laps, and they're not going to have to deal with that much tire wear. We can expect it to be an issue in the feature, depending on how many cautions we get. Last week in New Smyrna, we had some drivers not pit the entire race. We had some drivers pit for their 1 set of tires at the middle. We had some pit closer to the end. We had some pit not at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how many cautions we get in the feature and how strategy is going to affect it. But Cullen Johnston on the inside line, going to lead this field to the green flag. Catalano on the outside. Green flag, heat number 1 here at Myrtle Beach. Trevor Catalano with a good start on the outside. He's going to surrender the spot. No, he's not. Fighting back on that outside is Catalano. Johnston on the inside. He'll get P number 2. Hosier going to settle into P3, and Casey Hatch in P4. Now Russell Peets is in 5th. He wants that transfer spot away from Hatch. Hatch making a move to the inside of Hosier, coming off of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Catalano continuing to hold that lead with Johnston right behind, but a lot of scrapping going on further back. That's Adam Cizek in the 6th spot. Hatch back to the inside of Hosier. He's going to get P number 3. Hosier going to surrender the spot and will fall back into the 4th spot currently as they head through turn number 3 and onto lap number 4 of heat number 1. Hatch running away in 3rd, but there's Russell Peets trying to get up to the back bumper of the 7 for the transfer.
Great stuff as usually in this heat racing. The drivers are jostling for position as Catalano there at the front is putting fast lap after fast lap. Half a second lead over Johnston. That is not a small lead in a track like this.
Catalano got a great start and was able to make that outside line work on lap number 1 to grab the lead, and he is running away with it. Fastest car in this heat by a long shot. Johnston running that outside line as well, trying to see where his modified will run. As Hatch sits P number 3, Hosier P number 4. And Russell Peets is right there with 3 laps to go. But I don't think it's going to be enough time to be able to get past Patrick Hosier. Track position is so important in these heats because there's no pit stops, no cautions, no tire wear pretty much for these 8 laps. So it is very crucial that you get as much track position as possible, and qualifying definitely helped that. But Russell Peets going to have one last shot at it here on the final lap. Is to the inside of the 84 of Cullen Johnston goes Casey Hatch. He got the position for a second. They come across the line side by side. Down into turn number 1. Hatch on the inside in the 14. He's going to grab that spot away from Johnston. Not able to clear him just yet. Johnston going to make one last effort on the outside for P number 2. But coming across the line off of 4. Trevor Catalano will grab the win in heat number 1. Casey Hatch able to get 2nd, Johnston 3rd, and Patrick Hosier will grab the 4th and final transfer spot into the feature race. Those are your 4 drivers that are now locked into the feature. Everybody else will have to be seated on provisionals.
As the drivers are unceremoniously dumped out of the racetrack, here are your results for heat 1.
Trevor Catalano grabbing that win. Hatch in 2nd. Made a great push towards the end of that race to get Cullen Johnston. Patrick Hosier will take the final automatic transfer spot in the 4th position. Russell Peets in 5th. Donovan Adams Zeeks in 6th. Stephen Barber in 7th. And Corey Stockert in 8th will be the 4 that will rely on the provisionals to seed where they will start in the feature race. Here we go for heat number 2. Your your points leader, Matthew Lambert, will be starting on the pole for this race. He'll be starting on the outside line, just pulling a little bit above your pole sitter, Brian Osborne, making us a little bit confused from the timing. But starting in the 2nd row on the inside, Chad Garlisi Jr. and Jason Ricker to his outside. Jason Hand will start 5th, Hunter Zeik in 6th, and Ignacio Adames will start in 7th. Very interesting starting grid here.
Sorry, Joshua. Judging by the chat, seems like Matthew Lambert just got the track 2 days ago, so he's expected to have a tough time. But you know, being the points leader means that he's been very, very consistent in these first couple of races. So I'm expecting good things for him.
Matthew Lambert There's a huge gap in between these cars up here.
Where's the pace car? There we go.
Pace car is in pit road, and they are gone already. In the middle of turn 3 and 4, Brian Osborne decided that is where the green flag is going to fly. So Osborne going to lead the field into 1. And a little bit of a battle for the transfer spot to the inside. That's Jason Hand. He's going to give the spot to Jason Ricker, as Ricker currently holds that 4th spot. Hand in 5th. He's going to need to catch up to the back bumper of that 13, as Garlisi Jr. sits in 3rd. You're looking back from Matthew Lambert onto Garlisi.
The leader took a massive gap between himself and the pace car, and that was a little bit awkward at the start, but seems to be all good, as now the drivers are stretching their legs. And here we go, Ricker on Garlisi. Oh, contact, maybe.
A little bit of netcode might have been an effector in that, but contact nonetheless. Got him up out of the groove in turn number 1. Ricker moving the 97 of Garlisi Jr. out of the way for the 3rd spot. And you can see that white car, that's the white number 12 of Jason Hand, trying to catch the 97 of Chad Gurlisi Jr. for that automatic transfer spot. You can see him running just a little bit up out of the groove coming off of turn 2. The 12 car having a little bit of issues with that Tour Modified. Hopefully he can get a little bit better of a rhythm in the feature race, because he will be having that starting grid set on provisionals, because 22 drivers are allowed in the feature race, 21 signed up, so that means that we will have nobody going home. Everybody makes it in, just a matter of where you start, and Osborne is running away with this. As you're taking a look at Ignacio Adames on the back bumper of Jason Hand in the 12, looking for P number 5 with 3 laps to go.
And Ignacio certainly looking for a calmer round, because in the first 2 rounds he was involved in a sequence of crashes that were, very, very unlucky. Hoping for a clean race tonight, and so far so good for him in this second hit.
Adames sitting in 5th. He was able to get past Jason Hand. Gurlisi is still sitting on that automatic transfer spot, but Brian Osborne is going to take the white flag here in heat number 2 in the 22, and a little bit of a battle between Ricker and Lambert. Matthew Lambert, your current points leader, trying to get as close up to that lead position in the feature race as possible, and he's going to finish 2nd here, which means it is going to be a nice 10th place starting spot for Lambert, but Osborne going to be starting in the 8th spot on the outside line. He grabs the win here in heat number 2 with Ricker and Gurlisi Jr. 3rd and 4th, grabbing those last 2 automatic transfer spots. As we'll now head into the 3-minute warm-up before our feature race. Let's take a look at those heat number 2 results. Osborne wins with Lambert in 2nd, Ricker 3rd, Gurlisi Jr. 4th, Ignacio Adames 5th, Jason Hand 6th, and Hunter Azaik in 7th. As everybody heading out for the 3-minute warm-up before we get started in the feature. Marco, a little bit of a tame heats from what we've seen the past 2 weeks, but that usually means if the heats are tame, that means the feature race is going to be exciting and full of carnage.
I have to say that they reminded me a bit of the heats that we had in New Hampshire, and then we all know how the race ended up. Just to have some perspective, I stopped the stream that day at 6:22 in the morning here in Italy, so you know that the race was a bit long, but it was very, very exciting. Again, I'm seeing that these drivers were, taking a little bit of confidence with the racetrack. As I say that, there is a massive wreck on the front stretch involving also our team pole sitter Kyle Eli there. Now basically just these 3 minutes to get everyone sorted. While we are at it, just have a look, and of course the fact that we are back into... Oh, look at that, you were talking about those bollards maybe on the inside of 1 and 2, and you see that Riker basically went on top of one of those and almost went on 2 wheels. But while we were talking about this and we were waiting, let's have a look at the weather, Joshua.
Some nice weather, and thank goodness it is in Fahrenheit, so this American can read it. 2-mile-an-hour winds, pretty much the default for iRacing. 77 air temperature currently, but because it is night, that track surface is not heating up as much as it usually would under broad sunlight. Under these lights here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, it is a nice 80 degrees Fahrenheit with a 57% humidity. And it is partly cloudy over the Myrtle Beach Speedway. And that 80-degree Fahrenheit track temp, Marco, that is going to make these tires grippy and these drivers confident.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think that tires will certainly not come into play as much as they did, for example, in the first round. Of course, now we have all the different, limitations. Tire limitation, of course, only 1 set of tires available to these drivers. But I think, okay, tonight it will be much easier for them to deal with it. Of course, they need to stay away from trouble, which is going to be very tough given the short nature of this track. William Krushka, one of the league organizers, is certainly one of those, drivers looking forward to, have a cleaner round. And as I say that, there is again, a massive pile-up in the warm-up. I think everyone is celebrating the end of warm-up by crashing into the league organizer. And now, it's time to go through the starting grid for this main event of the evening, and it should be on your screen, I guess, right now.
Starting grid for the feature here for the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series. The top 6 got in automatically through qualifying. Kenny Zeems on the pole with the 17.572. Last week's winner from New Smyrna Beach, Kyle Eli, starting to his outside. Chris Downing will start 3rd. Ken Zeems starting 4th. Neil Rutt the 3rd in 5th. In 6th, it's William Kruska. Then we have our 2 Heat winners. Heat 1 winner, Trevor Catalano in 7th. Brian Osborne, Heat 2 winner in 8th. Casey Hatch in 9th. And Matthew Lambert, your points leader, will be starting in the 10th spot.
In P11 we have Cullen Johnston, and P12 we have Jason Riker. Then going down below we have Patrick Auger in 13th, Chad Garlisi Jr. in 14th place, Russell Pitts in 15th, then Ignacio Adames in 16th, Don Adamczyk in 17th, Jason Hand in 18th place, 19th is Steven Barber, 20th Hunter Isaac, and rounding up the grid, even though he didn't take part in the first hit, so I don't know if he's going to start the race, is Corey Stockert.
We'll see if he does. We're going to have 21 cars lined up, or 20. Going into this feature race, the points are tight. The top 3 only separated by 3 points. Lambert's your points leader. Chris Downing in 2nd. Tyler Catalano in 3rd. The points race is close. These drivers right now are closer, as they are 2 by 2 behind that Ford Mustang iRacing.com pace car. It pulls into pit road. We're glad you're with us here on Apex Racing TV, Week 3 of the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series. Kenny Zeems leads us to the green flag. We're racing at Myrtle Beach.
And we have a massive wreck in the back. Oh dear.
The carnage starting early. Is that William Kruska involved? It looks like he's fallen down the order.
Yeah, and Matthew Lambert as well. So, 2 drivers we were looking forward to. Let's get a replay.
Lambert with damage to that front end. No fast repairs tonight. That is going to be very disappointing for these drivers, especially Matthew Lambert, who sits on the points lead right now. Oh my, huge carnage diving into 1. Kruska involved. Your Heat 2 winner, the 22 of Brian Osborne involved. Lambert involved in the 48. It looked like there might have been one more. That might have been the 12 of Jason Hand. Not sure if he got any damage from that or if he just stopped on the racetrack to avoid the incident.
You can see the car there starting in front. Probably not Brian Osborne, sorry. The car there on the inside tagged the number 6 of Kruska, who then basically moved up the track, hit the wall, and came to a very, very abrupt stop. And basically it was carnage from there, and Jason Ricker is heading for the pits already in the very first laps of the race, of course, probably for some much needed repairs. So we have 3 cars in the pits right now. Osborne, Kruska, they had to tow back, and Jason Ricker came into the pits, as you can see here, on his own power, but of course he's in for a very, very tough night, as drivers are waiting to catch the pace car. The pace car came out so quickly, I'm afraid it might have picked up some of the quote-unquote lappers and not the leader, even though no one was a lap down, but some cars I think were still behind the start-finish line, so these guys will have to take the wave around at some point.
And an interesting start considering that they've only been through 1 corner. And these tires are not really warm. Of course, iRacing with the new tire model, these tires start off cold and they heat up throughout the run. So it's a couple laps into the run that the tires are actually at a premium heat. So these tires are still fairly cold because going around pace laps can only warm them up so much. Going full speed around a racetrack is a completely different type of heat on those tires. We'll see how the strategy of tires comes in, because if we see anything like we saw in New Hampshire and New Smyrna, tires don't have a huge effect because they're going in short bursts of green flag and then back under yellow, and more issues for Brian Osborne. His motor smoking coming down pit road.
Yeah, that is certainly not what you want to see in the 4th lap of the race, and you can see he went straight back into pit road, but It's going to be some long repairs, as now the drivers are already getting ready to start, and some drivers still have to take, basically, are just right now taking the wave around.
They'll head back around, catch the back end of this pack here, and green flag is back out. Kenny Zeem's gonna get the field started down into turn number 1. Eli right behind on his bumper. His brother Ken Zeems making that move for the 3rd spot. Downing back to 4th. But the battle for the lead here heating up off of 4. Eli looked to the inside in that 07, unable to make the move. He'll look again in turn number 1. And Kenny Zeems running about a half a lane above the apron. And Eli gonna get loose, but no, it's actually under caution. We have a wreck. Downing involved with Ken Zeems in the 90.
Oh, and someone couldn't stop in time and went straight into the parked race cars there. I think that was Jason Hand. So let's see what happened to Ken Zeems and I think Chris Downing maybe. We got 3 wide there, doesn't work. And I think Zeems was not too happy with the car that collected him there. And you will see now Jason Hand probably arriving on the scene. Bit too late to get on the brakes there, and he went straight into the back of the other car that was involved there. So caution is out straight away. And you know, too bad, because we were having some fantastic scrapping there at the front for the lead of the race.
Marco, I am hearing some very colorful comments over the voice chat right now in iRacing. Lots of sailor language going on during this race, and I believe that is all coming from either Chris Downing or Ken Zeems, who are a little bit mad with Jason Hand or whoever made that 3 wide, trying to decide who exactly, and that was Ken Zeems and Chris Downing, both pretty much complaining about the driver who made it 3 wide there on the inside and made contact, trying to decide who that was. That looked like, I think that was Trevor Catalano. Yes, it was. The 54 of Trevor Catalano tried to make it 3 wide there and started the contact. There's the 54. You can see it. He moved down to the inside and just hit contact. And Marco, you know a lot about this, being a huge fan of Formula 1. Those open wheels, when they make contact, there's almost no avoiding an incident.
Oh no, man. Basically, they almost function as, ramps, where you basically make contact and you get launched, and you lose basically every kind of control that you can have on the car. Especially these modifieds here, they have such big fat wheels, so that is of course pushed to the maximum. So the moment you make contact with another car there, wheel to wheel, it is so difficult to get it back under control. As still under caution, they are already side by side, 2 by 2, but they are still the lights are still on, so probably it was a delayed yellow because maybe some drivers are a bit out of position. But right now we have I think 13 cars on the lead lap, maybe 14 if Jason Hand can come out. And speaking of him, let's see the accident from his perspective, because I find it a bit strange that he couldn't slow down in time to avoid the carnage. See, the caution is out. Then he goes straight on. That was very strange.
Very strange incident there from Jason Hand. It almost seemed like he got more in the gas. Not exactly sure what that was from Jason Hand. We'll see what race control thinks about that, because of this new incident point system in this league. Every wreck you cause is 0.5 points. You get 1 point, you get suspended for the next race, and you get docked a few championship points. If you get 2, you're out for multiple races, and you get docked even more championship points. But the 15 of Kenny Zeems leads him right back to the green flag. The 54 of Trevor Catalano made a move on Kyle Eli on that start. He is now in 2nd place, trying to chase down Kenny Zeems. Last week winner Kyle Eli will be in 3rd, with Neil Rutt III making his first start in the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series. He is in 4th place. What a great run from him to begin tonight.
Eli on Catalano there on the inside seems to have a good run. They almost come to blows there, as we have a caution.
Another caution out on the racetrack. We'll see exactly where it was, and it looks like that is Cullen Johnston around on the inside of turn number 2 in the 84.
I clipped the bollards there and went around. He was the only car involved in that. So back under caution we go.
And that is good. Nobody else involved in that incident from Cullen Johnston. Just him making a little bit of a mistake, got a little bit too far down on the apron and went around from hitting those bollards on the inside. But Kenny Zeems continuing to lead the race. Kyle Eli is being scored in second, so he was able to get past Trevor Catalano at the time of caution. Catalano will sit in the third spot, Neil Rutt the third, fourth, Casey Hatch fifth, Patrick Hosier sixth, Ignacio Adame seventh, Russell Peets eighth, Chad Gurlisi Jr. in ninth, and Dom Adam Zeeks will be in the 10th spot, currently on the racetrack. We have a couple cars out. Jason Hand is in the pits, Chris Downing in the pits, Jason Ricker is on the track, but a few laps down. Brian Osborne is in the pits, Kruzka is in the pits, and Corey Stockhart did not start this race. So we currently have 15 cars on the racetrack currently racing. There's your points leader, Matthew Lambert, involved in an incident early on tonight, and he is just trying to get this race finished 4 points, and that is exactly what he needs to do. Don't think he's going to keep that points lead. Chris Downing is sitting in second, but he is out of the race. So that is an up on Chris Downing. Tyler Catalano did not start this race. He is in third. He was 3 points behind. We got a fourth. 7 points behind. Bobby Sant Jr. also not in this race. Russell Peets, 8 points behind Matthew Lambert when we drop the green flag. He is currently in 8th. So Russell Peets is actually in a great spot currently to take the points lead, depending on what happens to Matthew Lambert. But it could be that Lambert is going to keep that points lead, albeit by just a few points, come the checkered flag coming out here tonight at Myrtle Beach.
And the first good news for him tonight, he just got the lucky dog, so he's back on the lead lap. He's the number 48, and now sitting in P13, as you can see right here. Of course, now he's letting everyone by because the lucky dog gets the tail end of the longest line penalty as per usual. But you know, of course, better to be the tail end but lead lap, especially because at the next caution he will be able to get past all the lap cars. And of course, if his car is okay, he can still have a say, I think, for a possible spot in the top 10 of this race. Still a long way to go.
Lights are out on that iRacing.com pace cars. They head into turn number 1. Field going back 2 by 2. Kenny Zeems will start on the inside line in the lead with Kyle Eli to his outside. Eli was fast in his first appearance last weekend in Myrtle Beach. In New Smyrna, and here in Myrtle Beach, he is incredibly fast once again. As the 15 of Kenny Zeems is going to lead the field to the green flag. They come through turns 3 and 4 into the middle of the corner, and Kenny Zeems is away. We're back to racing here at Myrtle Beach. We'll see how long it will be green for. To the inside of Kyle Eli for second. That's Trevor Catalano. He is trying to get a run on that inside, and it's not going to work that well. Still side by side with the 07 of Kyle Eli heading down into turn 3. Eli making that outside line work. He's going to clear the 54 coming out of the front straightaway.
Oh dear.
Oh, the 41, possibly some contact with the 14 at Casey Hatch, sent him up out of the groove. Hatch going to take over the 4th spot as Neil Rutt III will hop into the 5th spot currently on this race course. Hosier sitting in 6th. He watched all that happen. We'll see if he can make a move on the 41 for that 5th spot. But right now, the 41 trying to put the bumper back to the 14. Now back up to the battle for the lead. Eli looked to the inside. Didn't make it happen. Zeems continuing to lead the way. But Eli wants that spot, and he wants it now onto lap 15 down into turn number 1.
Looking absolutely aggressive is Kyle Eli, and these top 3 have finally pulled away with a little bit of green flag racing from the rest of the field.
Definitely seeing who the dominant cars are tonight as Kenny Zeems continuing to lead the way. Eli just barely poking that nose in there. Not enough room on the inside to make a move, but he's going to dive down to the inside in 3. Zeems closing the door. As Zeems continuing to run up in that second lane. The 07 of Kyle Eli wants to run that inside line. But Kenny Zeems doing a great job at pretty much running right in between those 2 lanes, not giving Eli any opportunity to get past. And a caution is out on the racetrack. We'll see where. On board with the... Wondering where that caution was. Was it for the...
There is no caution at the moment. We are still green. No, yeah, I can confirm you we are still green.
Well, still green flag racing on the racetrack. Back up to the battle for the lead. Kenny Zeems holding on to that spot, but Eli really wants it. He's making a lot of moves down to that inside line, but not able to complete them. As the 07 gonna dive back to the inside line. He got to that inside, running that inside line. Eli back to the inside, maybe making a little bit of contact, but Kenny Zeems making that outside line work. He is holding the lead as they head back down into turn number 1. Eli back to the inside, but Kenny Zeems doing a great job and getting great runs out on that outside line to keep this lead.
Beautiful stuff here for the lead of the race, and now they are bound to jump into some traffic at some point, but for the time being it's just 1v1. And Eli is basically glued to the inside line. Can he make it work?
Eli doing a great job at running on that inside line, but Zeems is getting such great runs on that outside. Eli gonna get a little bit better of a run this time through 1, and he is gonna clear the 15. Put Eli to the top of the charts. He takes the point here at Myrtle Beach Speedway as we're just past halfway finished with this motor race on to lap 33. Eli leading the way now with Kenny Zeems right behind.
I mean, he had to work quite a bit to get it moved on, but when he went on the inside there with great determination, here comes once again Zeems on the outside. Good defending from Eli. He still is in the lead, but this race is far from over. And look in front of Eli. We can jump on board with him for a second. You can see now lap traffic looming very, very large.
Kyle Eli with the fastest lap of the race so far, 17.644. His last time by was a 17.908. This time by, the lap time of 17.884. He is getting ever so faster on that inside line, an 18.002 from Kenny Zeems. So Kyle Eli, the faster car, running that inside line. Zeems running in between, and a little bit of a squirtle coming off of that corner. He got a little bit loose.
Issue for Ignacio Adams. You can see there sitting on the bottom of the track. He's letting the drivers by. In the meantime, Matthew Lambert is back into the top 10, P9 in fact, just behind Chad Garlisi Jr. Hunter Isaac and Don Adamczyk are also going at it here for the last spot in the top 10.
And Adamczyk's going to get that spot in the 21. Hunter Isaac will fall to 11th. And it is just a battle for points right now. Everybody wants as much points as they can in the battle for this championship. One car in pit road. See exactly who that is. In pit road, I believe that is the 12 of Jason Hand. Yes, it is. He's back to his pit crew, possibly for a change of tires or damage repair. Now back to another battle on this racetrack. The 41 car of Neil Rutt. And now a caution is back out. Casey Hatch looked like he wanted to go to the inside of Neil Rutt there, but the caution came out. And it's the 28 of Steven Barber, spun around on the back straightaway. That engine smoking, it's damaged. That Tour Modified is going to be heading to the garage here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Let's see if we can take a look at that replay, see what happened to bring out this caution, the fourth caution of the evening. Looked like he just got loose coming off of 2.
Let's see from his own board. Maybe we'll have, but yeah, I think he came maybe on the gas pedal too quickly coming out of 2, and around he went. I thought he hit one of the ballers, but no, he didn't. Yeah, he was already spinning there the moment he put the power down, and now we have a significant amount of drivers heading for pit road.
Zeems is in, Eli in, Rutt in, Catalano in, Hatch in, Garlisi Jr. in, Adamczyk is in, Barber is in. All those cars coming down pit road. Hosier stayed out. Peets is also in pit road. Lambert stayed out as well. as Kyle Eli going to come out first. That is his only set of tires now. So he cannot change tires along with everybody else that came down pit road that time by. Not pitting is Hosier, is Zyke stayed out, Ignacio Adames stayed out, and those are the only three that stayed out on the racetrack. Everybody else coming down pit road for a fresh pair of Hoosier tires as we are inside 20 laps to go.
Matthew Lambert stayed out as well. He stopped on lap 9, of course, so quite a few laps ago, but we had a nice green flag run. So probably we'll be struggling a bit with his tires, but at the same time, that could be a good call. Let's see if Patrick Hosier dives into the pits at the last possible lap, or if he stays out. Let's see if the lights go off. No, they don't, so maybe we'll have one more chance to go. Cullen Johnston is in, and so Casey Hatch has put himself in between Kyle Eli and Kenny Sims in the race of pit road.
And both of those drivers are going to be pushed to the outside line. They are in 4th and 6th on the leaderboard right now, and that is where they'll restart. 2nd and 3rd row outside line. And Lambert came down pit road for something. He did pit on lap number 9. I'm wondering if he didn't take tires on lap number 9. If you remember, he was involved in an incident. That could have just been damage repair, and now he's going to grab those fresh Hoosier tires. We'll see what happens with Matthew Lambert, your points leader. But Patrick Hosier, Hunter Zyke, your top two, they both stayed out under this caution and are the only two on the racetrack that have not come down pit road at all tonight. Eli in 3rd, Casey Hatch in 4th, Kenny Zeems 5th, Trevor Catalano 6th, Neil Rutt the 3rd, 7th, Chad Garlisi Jr. in 8th, Russell Peets 9th, and Cullen Johnston will be starting in the 10th spot on this restart. Your biggest mover tonight, Hunter Zyke, started in the 20th spot. He is up to P number 2.
Let's see if we have a very, very quick replay of that first pit stop. I'm afraid the answer is no. So we don't know if he took tires, but I think he did not, because probably he took them right now, and we are ready to go back to green flag racing.
Back to 2x2 through turns 3 and 4. Pace car into the safety of pit road, and Hosier going to get a good start. But Kyle Eli got an amazing start. He's already on the back bumper, and those fresh tires doing wonders on this restart. Eli right back to the lead through 1 and 2. What a start from Kyle Eli, grabbing the lead.
Caution.
Right off of this restart, and we're back under yellow. There was reports of an incident on the voice chat. I heard them talking about it right before that caution came out. But yellow flag back on the racetrack. Chris Downing is slow in the 51. There's the 48 of Matthew Lambert. Here's what happened on the back straightaway. That's the 90 of Ken Zeems, turning around the 51 of Chris Downing. Marco, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that a little bit of payback?
Could be. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but we know that tempers have been a bit... look what happened there. We stayed green, but one of the cars went into the wall there, and there was a little bit of an accordion effect there at the start. So I saw in the timing screen we have here in our booth, I saw that there was a massive checkup somewhere at the restart, and I was surprised we didn't go yellow, but that explains why, because basically they were all checking up into each other. It was not really a wreck, but of course a few seconds later the wreck did happen. By the way, there is a car taking the wave around there, and I think it is Jason Ricker, but he's still 6 laps down. As we will see a replay once again.
Going back in our broadcast to one of the first incidents of the night, I believe it was the second full wreck we had. And I'm trying to see exactly what happened because I believe it was between the 90 of Ken Zeems and the 51 of Chris Downing. And yes, indeed, it was. It was the 90 and the 51. The 12 of Jason Hand coming in late. So I'm wondering if the 90 thought that the 51 was at fault for that incident. And you can see already payback there when they wrecked. And the 90 got behind the 51 and turned him around. We'll have to see what happens after this race between Race Control and those two drivers. I'm wondering if they'll be invited to the East Coast Thunder eSports hauler after the race.
Even though you can see it's not really his fault there, because it was, I think, Catalano brave move there on the inside that caused the all the incident there, because he tagged Downing and Downing went into Zeems. So I don't know. It shows how much these drivers care about this race, as we have just 10 laps to go. And remember, green, white, checkered are available.
Going green with 9 to go, and just touching on what you said, you got to remember, Ken Zeems has been in the car all night. He hasn't had an opportunity to look at the replay. You might just think the 51 turned right up into him, didn't even know that the 54 of Trevor Catalano was even there. So we'll see if they get that sorted out after this race is over, but they're going to come across the line for 8 laps to go. Kyle Eli pulling away in the 07, trying to go 2 in a row here at New Smyrna and Myrtle Beach. Trevor Catalano in second in the 54 with Hosier in third. He's in a battle with Kenny Zeems for that third spot. But right now, Trevor Catalano, all he's focusing on is that 07 of Kyle Eli in front of him to catch him. But we're moving back to this battle for the third spot between Zeems and Hosier. What is Hosier going to do here? Is he going to defend the 15 of Kenny Zeems? Zeems going to go to the outside, not going to make that happen exactly as quickly as he wanted, but the 7 into the wall. That's going to cause a checkup between them. And now to the inside, the 191, Russell Pete's going to take over P4.
So close to being a big wreck and a caution. We stay green. That's exactly what Kyle Eli wants to hear, but look at this massive amount of cars. Major traffic jam.
But what a move from Russell Peets there to get himself up into a good position. He, of course, surrendered it there, now back in P number 5. But Russell Peets is racing for a championship spot. He is currently 5th in the championship, and he needs Matthew Lambert to go a little bit further back down the order if he wants his points lead. But right now, all signs are pointing to Matthew Lambert keeping this points lead. They're going to come across the line. Caution is out. We're going into overtime here at Myrtle Beach. Just as I was about to say, 3 laps to go. Caution is back out, and Kyle Eli is now sitting on ice as he is getting ready to go into overtime. And Trevor Catalano is thanking the racing gods that he has another shot at Kyle Eli. And Johnston just goes right up into the wall. Wow, that incident avoidance from, I believe, the 12 of Jason Hand was incredible going into 1.
Absolutely. Let's see. Maybe we can get a replay from his perspective. There we are. So as a reminder, we have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. Here we go. Oof. I don't think you can get any closer to that, but as we were saying, 3 attempts. This will be attempt number 1. Trevor Catalano now in second, of course. Patrick Hosier in third. Kenny Zeems in fourth. And after that great pass, Russell Pitts in 5th, as we have Don Adamczyk taking the lucky dog. And I think a few wave rounds being given by the race control.
And these championship points are going to shake up because Kyle Eli currently sits in 23rd. He was last week's winner in New Smyrna. And he is currently leading this race. The driver from New Jersey currently in 23rd. It was made his first appearance in New Smyrna as well. So that is where he is starting from. He's 73 points behind the leader. And if he continues this stretch he is on of winning, might go 2 in a row tonight. I think Kyle Eli is going to be the favorite for this championship. Well, Marco, there's still a long ways to go. We're on week 3 of 10.
Long way to go, and of course 2 more double championship points events, including, I think, the final round as well will be double points. So we have one in the middle, one at the beginning, and one at the end. So, but you know, that is certainly is going to be, if Kyle Eli can pull this off, will be a big statement towards all these opponents, because certainly getting 2 wins in a row in such a competitive field, it's absolutely tough. As we can see, lights are still on the iRacing beautiful Mustang pace car. I'm a big fan of the blue oval, so I might be a bit biased. Lights which should go off right now. Yes, and so we are getting ready for attempt number 1 here at not New Smyrna, of course, that's where we were last week, at Myrtle Beach.
Eli choosing the inside. Catalano on the outside. This is the first attempt at green-white checker. They'll take a green flag lap. Then once they take that white flag, that race is over. They will be racing back to the checkered flag. Catalano on the outside. Eli on the inside. He gets them started. The 07 will clear the 54 around. Trevor Catalano made a move to the inside, and he got loose. Carnage on the front straightaway, and the caution is back out.
Oh dear, that's the big one at Myrtle Beach. Look at that. So many drivers involved. That happened just at the front of the pack. It was impossible to avoid. And look at the amount of blown engines there. Dear me. Let's get a replay of that. Catalano went for it, and that didn't work out.
What a turn of events here at Myrtle Beach. The 07 gets a good jump. The 54 just hops down to the inside, but that car just turned around, and there's the carnage behind him. And I think there was another wreck between the 7 and another car up ahead of this wreck. But I mean, there was just nowhere for anybody else to go. They were all 2x2 taking the green flag, and they just all get caught up in this wreck. Here's the replay. Oh, the 7 and the 41 got together because they were trying to avoid the wreck. The 41 into the wall, the 7 down into the apron. And I think you can count the amount of cars that don't have damage on one hand.
Let's see, Matthew Lambert. Nowhere to go. But, I mean, no one had a place to go. Neil Rudd III had a fantastic race so far in his debut. He as well was involved in this. See the spin. Oh, yeah, he was the one involved in that wreck there. Basically, a wreck that was a consequence of what happened there. And caution is out, and the drivers are picking up the pieces, and we are as well. So we can tell you Kyle Eli is still in the lead. Trying to see Kenny Zims is in second. Massive amount of wave arounds as well. Russell, look at the smoke that we still have in turn 1. Unbelievable stuff. And we have, I tell you, a handful of cars left on the racetrack. I think 5 cars left on the lead lap.
We have been through over 60 laps of racing tonight, and we are going into the second green-white checkered attempt, pretty much back where we started. Kyle Eli started on the front row along with Kenny Zims, albeit they had their positions swapped. Zims on the pole, Eli on the outside. And what a run, I gotta say. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Russell Peets, Hunter Azaik, and Ignacio Adames, all of them have gained so many positions since the start. None of them started even in the top 10. A couple of them didn't even start. None of them started in the top 15 except for Russell Peets, who started 15th. Zykes has gained 16 positions since the start. He started 20th. He's in 4th. Ignacio Adames started 16th. He gained 11 positions to be in the 5th spot currently. But here we go. This could be the final restart. Pace car into pit lane. Kyle Eli away as they'll take the green flag. 2 laps to go. The 15 loose on the inside. Not as bad as the 54 of Catalano. He gets it back straight, but Kyle Eli pulling away off turn 2.
Here we go then, great start for Eli. Zims in trouble, white flag.
White flag one more time around Myrtle Beach. Zeems not going to have enough time to make up for that mistake coming off of 4. Eli will come off at turn 2 onto the back straightaway. He made his appearance in the East Coast Thunder Esports Tour Modified Series last week in New Smyrna. He got the win there. Eli goes back-to-back in South Carolina. Zeems comes in second, Adames third, Pete's fourth, and Hunter is Zyke. What a run from them, top 5.
I mean, I usually am terrible at predictions, and it was more of a hope than a prediction, but I said hopefully Ignacio Adams can have a clean run after 2 very unlucky rounds to start the season. Well, what about that? Fantastic podium, congratulations. I'm sure he will be super relieved. But congratulations to everyone who made it out alive, especially and Kyle Eli, you know, conveniently jumping into victory lane. So he gets a nice photo opportunity, and we go straight to your race results from this feature race.
What an exciting night here in Myrtle Beach. Your results taking the win. Kyle Eli, 2 in a row for the 07 machine. Kenny Zeems will finish second. Ignacio Adames third. Russell Peets fourth. Hunter Zyke comes home in the 5th spot, with Trevor Catalano in 6th. Don Adam Zeeks in 7th. Jason Ricker in 8th. Patrick Hosier 9th. Neil Rutt the 3rd in his first appearance here in the East Coast Thunder Esports Series in 10th. Casey Hatch in 11th. Matthew Lambert, your points leader to start tonight, in 12th. Colin Johnston 13th. Chad Garlisi Jr. 14th, Jason And 15th, Stephen Barber 16th, Ken Zeems 17th, Chris Downing 18th, Brian Osborne 19th, William Kruska in 20th, and Ronnie Adgerfield in 21st. Did not make a start tonight in the feature race. It is Corey Stockart. We will get to post-race interviews right after this short commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the East Coast Thunder Esports Tour Modified Series live on Apex Racing TV. A hectic night here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We are glad you're back joining us here live on Apex Racing TV. Kyle Eli able to grab the win tonight in the East Coast Thunder Esports Tour Modified Series. And we now have him up here in the booth. Kyle, you went back-to-back New Smyrna and Myrtle Beach. This track's so different from New Smyrna, but somehow you were still able to be on rails tonight and grab that win. What does it mean for you? Your 2 starts in this series to go back-to-back, both of them being wins.
It's actually been really cool. Coming into this race, I thought I was gonna have some competition, but Kyle Sisko, he didn't show up. But Kenny Azeem's really ran me for my money there. I couldn't pass him for I don't know how many laps, probably 10 or so laps side by side, and I kind of split up into one. And I didn't mean to move him out of my way. I kind of just overdrove the corner. But after that, we kind of just sailed away. And yeah, car was really good. I think the setup was really on point. Too bad that the race wasn't, that good. We had a lot of cautions, all of that, but back-to-back wins, can't complain. Hopefully come back next week. Although we missed the first race, so that was a double points race, so we're pretty far behind in points, but these finishes are definitely going to help me.
Speaking of the updated points, you gained 9 positions on that race for the points standings. You're currently tied for 14th with Jody Reinhard. Do you think with the 2 more double points races left and just the amount of races that we have remaining in this series that you can make a run for that points championship?
I hope so. I mean, I'm going to come back every week, but I know one double points race is Martinsville, which I'm not really necessarily good at that track, so that's something I'm gonna have to practice before the race and put some laps down. But other than that, I think the schedule really suits how I like to drive these cars well, and hopefully we can get more wins soon.
Anyone else you would like to thank?
Just thank you to you guys for broadcasting, and William for putting on this league. It's been a lot of fun, and I enjoy racing these modifieds every week.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle Eli, your winner here from Myrtle Beach Speedway. Marco, a carnage-filled night. It was also filled with a lot of good racing and a lot of tempers. What are you looking forward to when we come back next week? Because we'll be back right here on Apex Racing TV from Southern National.
Well, Southern, another short track, another track that surely will provide for some very close quarter racing. I mean, we have seen a lot of start and stop kind of racing, no matter where we were in the first 3 rounds, New Hampshire, New Smyrna, and Myrtle Beach. But tonight, New Hampshire, we had like 3 or 4 massive wrecks. New Smyrna, not one that I can remember. Tonight, of course, that it was a freak accident that that first restart, the first green white checker, the big one. So I sense that the drivers are getting a better feel for it. Competition is absolutely fantastic. We had some beautiful battles up and down the field, and I cannot wait for next Thursday or Friday for me, as I can tell you the sun is rising here. I can clearly see out of my window, and the birds are singing. It's a perfect way to start the day, this championship, and I cannot wait to go to Southern National.
Not going to hold you here for too long, Marco. We know you want to go enjoy the Italy sunrise, but we got to go over the point standings currently in the championship. Lambert able to hold on to the points lead with Russell Peets gaining 3 positions from 5th to 2nd. He is now 1 point behind Lambert. So Lambert was able to keep the points lead, but he still is only 1 point ahead, 2nd place. Next place back is 8 points behind. That is Chris Downing in 3rd. Johnston sits 4th, 14 points behind, and 17 points behind sits Casey Hatch in 5th. Your 2-time back-to-back winner, Kyle Eli, is tied for 14th, 129 points from him. He sits 57 points behind the lead, and we'll see if he'll be able to keep up this momentum and get that championship. For Marco Barbanera, I am Joshua Lee. We hope you can join us next week when we'll be at the Southern National Raceway, live here on Apex Racing TV for the East Coast Thunder eSports Tour Modified Series. For now, we are saying goodbye from Myrtle Beach.